Hi, just wanted to share another process that I felt like I wanted to do on myself to kind of just see what emotions and check in. I know I did a morning clearing, and honestly, it just isn't resonating deep enough for me today. So I wanted to try to do another one for myself. So I know the time is current. So what I'm going to do, if you see me doing this is muscle testing. There's different ways of doing muscle testings where I usually just do my finger. If it's holding strong, it's a yes. If I go weak, it's a no. So current, I just feel a lot of stress. I feel frustration, sadness, resentment. Is there anything else? So I'm test myself if there's anything else off the top of my head of what I'm feeling. Overwhelming actually too, because so am I at a current age? I'm showing that I need to go a little bit deeper than where I'm at, because even though it's feeling this way now, there's something else that's a little bit deeper that I need to kind of connect with. So I'm 46 years old. I got to count backwards and kind of see where I'm going to resonate with. If it's my inner child, if it's something a little bit more, I'm just going to figure it out. So I got 46, 45, 44, 43, 42, 41, 40. 39, 38, 37, 36, 35, 34, 33, 32, 31, 30, 29, 28. So I'm around 28 years old. So what I'm going to try to do is just resonate with this 28-year-old, where I was, what was going on. So trying to just connect with her and see exactly where I was at. So kind of look at it as it's like she's raising her hand, like I'm ready to be healed. I think this is when I was going through my separation with my ex. And emotions are already coming up, so I hit the right age. So right now I'm just going to go fear, frustration, overwhelmment, confusion, suppressing your self-image, envy, jealousy, resentment, control, need for approval, judgment, guilt, shame, sadness, despair, out of control, burden. The reason why I'm touching those, I'm like getting in touch with her. So, excuse me. All right. So just writing down separation with ex. So even though I went through all those emotions, now I'm going to dive into what emotions. I was kind of like waking up my body like, oh, what is she feeling? And so now I'm just going to go muscle test what emotion comes up. Fear, frustration, overwhelmment. So overwhelmment is, I remember I was unhappy, never lived on my own, let alone with 3 kids. Scared, unsure what to do. Is there anything else? So I'm going to take all that overwhelmment that was being brought up, and I'm just going to put it into a black triangle. And so next I'm going to go fear, frustration, overwhelmment, confusion. Confusion is, am I making the right decision? I'm scared, unsure. Is there anything else? So take out that confusion. I'm going to do a red triangle. A lot of pointies already this morning. Fear, frustration, overwhelmment, confusion, suppressing our self-image, envy, jealousy, resentment, control, need for approval, judgment, guilt, shame, sadness. Sadness. I think it's the breakup. A failed relationship. Pain caused to kids. And self. Is there anything else? So I'm going to take that sadness, I'm just going to do it into a blue teardrop. I'm going to color it in because there's a lot of sadness that kind of just came forward immediately this morning. Fear, frustration, overwhelmment, confusion, suppressing your self-image, envy, jealousy, resentment, control, need for approval, judgment, guilt, shame. Shame. Failed relationship. I'm going to say generational. Broken home. Right? Family line of divorce. I'm going to put divorce. divorced too, but we weren't married. So I'm going to take all that shame, I can feel that already in my chest. And so I'm just going to put it kind of like in a octagon. I'm blowing it out. You'll see me breathing. I'm just trying to release it, the heaviness that's in my chest right now. And I'm going to put that as a black. Kind of went from an octagon into a rectangle, so it wasn't going to happen. All right. So fear, frustration, overwhelmment, confusion, suppressing your self-image, envy, jealousy, resentment, control, need for approval, judgment, guilt, shame, sadness, despair, out of control. Out of control. The fighting. Tension. Wanting to leave, but staying. I'm going to say fear of unknown. Okay, is there anything else? So I'm going to take all that out of control. Kind of having like a little bit of brain fart here. I'm going to just draw a picture of a broken home. So I'm just going to kind of break it in half. I'm going to put black. So fear, frustration, overwhelmment, confusion, suppressing your self-image, envy, jealousy, resentment, control, need for approval, judgment, guilt, shame, sadness, despair, out of control, burden. So burden. Separation. Splitting kids. Anything else? So with the burden, I'm just going to do another black square. Lots of darkness today. Is there anything else? Fear, frustration, overwhelmment, confusion, suppressing your self-image, envy, jealousy, resentment, control, need for approval, judgment, guilt, shame, sadness, despair, out of control, burden. So because I've been doing this long enough, I already know immediately there's 3 types of burdens. One, it's a burden like right now, and then there's also a burden that could be a generational burden, which holds strong, and then there's also where we're going to change age with the burden if it doesn't, if it keeps going weak. So I kind of muscle test as a changing age, so I'm holding strong. So I'm already at 28, so I know I'm going a little bit younger. I'm holding strong on that. So I got 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Kind of already felt that already, but just showing you how the process works. So at 8 years old is when my mom and dad separated. And remember how I said generational? So, and I know, like I said, part of it too is I was once a kid, and I'm kind of like having this stuff happen to my kids, right? So going to the age of 8, I'm going to do the emotions all over again. Fear, frustration, overwhelmment, confusion, suppressing your self-image, envy, jealousy, resentment, control, need for approval, judgment, guilt, shame, sadness, despair, out of control, burden. So this 8-year-old is feeling burden, okay? So loss of family is kind of what she's feeling. Is there anything else? So I'm going to take that burden. I'm going to do that broken home again, just because that's what happened, right? So fear, frustration, overwhelmment. It's the sadness of dad not returning. Is there anything else? So I'm just going to circle overwhelmment and sadness so I can make sure to clear that. It's just a little girl. I'm just going to draw a little girl with her pigtails and just lots of tears. Hard part was I was Daddy's little girl. Like, I was the little one, and just remember us all sitting on my bed at my mom's bed, and her just saying he wasn't coming home, and kind of just not sure. You know what I mean? I guess the hit felt just as like if he was not to be present, like if he had passed, but it was just as hard as just hearing, hey, he doesn't want to come home. So fear, frustration, overwhelmment, confusion, suppressing your self-image, envy, jealousy, resentment, control, need for approval, judgment, guilt, shame, sadness, despair, out of control. I'm going to say emotions. I remember my brother was crying, like in the crib. tell my mom was shaking in her voice. And sisters were crying. And also angry, the older one. Is there anything else? So out of the control, I'm just gonna kind of just do a tornado. So it's just easy to kind of address it that way. Is there anything else? Fear, frustration, overwhelmment, confusion, suppressing or self-image, envy, jealousy, resentment, control, need for approval, judgment, guilt, shame, sadness. I think it's just that the family would never be the same, right? Is that anything else? Okay, so I'm going to take all that sadness and just do it into broken heart, so blue. Fear, frustration, overwhelmment, confusion, suppressing your self-image, envy, jealousy, resentment, control, need for approval, judgment, guilt, shame, sadness, despair, out of control, burden. Now, is it changing age? Nope. Is it just like current time being a burden? Yes. So, I don't know. I feel like a lot of weight on my chest. Kind of like a ton of bricks. So I'm just going to draw a few bricks. Red's coming to my mind. Like I said, no right and wrong with colors. Red bricks. Is there anything else? Fear, frustration, overwhelmment, confusion, suppressing your self-image, envy, jealousy, resentment, control, need for approval, judgment, guilt, shame, sadness, despair, out of control, burden. So, I'm going to do an anger video. How many do I need to do? I always test on anger videos. 1, 2, 3. So, with clients, sometimes I have them do them in their mind's eye. Sometimes I will have them express to what it was. But on this one, this little girl wants to scream to her dad of like, why did you leave? Why did you leave us? What did we do wrong? And that one I'm going to do into a big orange question mark. Okay, going on to the second video. And I'll test, do I need to do more? It's holding strong, I don't, so. This one I see Dad stops by for a visit, and my inner child is so angry. She slams the door, showing him it was not okay, the way this all went down. Okay, we're holding strong. Do I need more? So, okay, I'm sorry, I went weak. I got a text message there. So, there's more. I kind of felt like, well, he chose to leave. How can he just waltz back in? Like everything is okay. Okay, is that holding strong? Okay. And I'm just going to do a brown door. I don't remember. I remember one of our houses had a brown door, but this one is just what I'm assuming is our front door. And my little girl's just going to lock it. Alright, so third video, this one I can feel is a little bit deeper. She's pissed. Angry. Annoyed. Unforgiving. Mad. I feel like Dad is trying to console her. Like he's kind of down trying to hug her and she's just like, leave me alone. Why didn't you tell me? Why did it have to be said the way it was? Why did it happen the way it did? I just feel like in my mind it's just like I'm punching on him. Just so angry. And he's trying to console her, but she's just not having it. So I'm just going to take a minute until it calms down. Is there anything else? All right. Do I need another videos or anything else? Just, I know sadness is coming up, so I don't want to cry this whole session, but let's just do it. So sadness, I'm just going to take it into a cloud. The bigger the cloud, the more like I swirl it and this and that, it's just going to be me releasing it. So kind of like a little storm. I feel lightning hitting. I don't know about you guys, but I'm very creative. I like drawing, so this is where it really helps with my inner child and then like all the stuff that I'm doing. I have to remove those videos from her body because it's something I know that I've held on to. Okay, so anyways, we're taking the videos, and I'm old-fashioned, so I'm going to take them and put them into like the cassette tapes that you used to, kind of like the VHS ones. So I had 3. Do I need to do 3 cassette tapes? Yes. So what I'm kind of just imagining is that I'm just taking all that tape and I'm winding it up from those videos. And I'm holding strong. Good. Do I need to destroy the tapes? No. So fear, frustration, overwhelmment, confusion, suppressing your self-image, envy, jealousy, resentment, control, need for approval, judgment, guilt, shame, sadness, despair, out of control, burden. We're holding strong. So anyways, we also have the generational, right? Divorce. I need to address. And it's not the little girl, it's the older me kind of helping her. But I just feel an axe with a big tree in the front yard. We used to have 2 trees too at this time, but there were huge palm trees that our neighbor took down, but I'm just going to see myself destroying them instead. And unfortunately, as much as I'm hitting them, it's not happening. I mean, I'm putting a dent, but I myself cannot destroy. Do I need my mom? Do I need my dad? Do I need my sisters? No. So, do I need God? So God's coming up. I feel like this is way bigger than me, so am I going to still destroy those trees? God's going to help me. So, remember I talked about the lightning? God's going to strike down and they're going to catch on fire. I feel a lot of energy moving in my chest. I don't feel so tight, heavy, which is really great. So the trees are gone. My mess, just like my mind. So anyways, they are gone. I just kind of want to wait a second because like I said, I felt like it was releasing through here in my chest. I just want to, in my mind's eye, a lot of it's using our third eye. I just want to imagine like the smoke gone, the trees are gone, there's no debris. I'm just going to wait till it's all the way like nothing, like I see nothing. So I'm holding strong that I see nothing. And it doesn't happen this easily with a normal process. I'm trained, I just do it, I kind of go with the flow. Usually with some clients, it's kind of like they have to think a lot or they're like, and we have to kind of work through it a little bit harder, but I'm sharing this one just because I just want to teach what a process is and how we can help heal. All right, so staying in touch with myself, holding strong. All right, fear, frustration, overwhelmment, confusion, suppressing your self-image, envy, jealousy, resentment, control, need for approval, judgment, guilt, shame, sadness, despair, out of control, burden. All right, so the only thing that kind of comes to my mind is that I need to help my older child, or me, needs to go and help my younger child. It's kind of like that healing your inner child. And I just see myself standing there, and I walk and hold her hand, and I tell her everything's going to be okay. She needs to forgive. It wasn't her or towards her. Mom and Dad have their own wounds, and they never meant to hurt you. And I'm not going to lie, through my processing, it's been one of those things with my dad. I've done a lot of work with him. And I guess it was kind of finding that their wounds, no one's perfect. And he and my mom try to raise us as best as possible. And instead of me being angry, as I've gotten older, I've realized that my dad and my mom have their own wounds. They have their own childhood traumas and, beliefs and all that kind of stuff. And I couldn't say that if they stayed together, my life would have been any better or any worse. I mean, but this inner child just kind of felt not good enough and just alone and all that kind of stuff. So with me as the older child, or the, healing the inner child, I'm going to just say she's loved, seen, appreciated. And everything's going to be okay again. And this is the second time I've repeated that. It's like even with the everything's going to be okay, something's just telling me God is watching over you. And that's a relationship I'm trying to build right now. It wasn't something I was really raised with, but I felt like with my processing, I have gotten closer to God and believing of the angels and that kind of stuff. And I know, like, even though it's like I was put on this earth, my parents are meant to be, my lessons are meant to be, I'm healing. I really feel like that's part of what I'm here for, is healing, and just forgiving and learning to let go. And then just like I said, just being part of God's journey, and He doesn't make mistakes, right? So, all right. Did I heal my inner child enough? Did she hear what she needed to hear? Is she holding strong? Okay. So then I'm going to just figure out where I'm at. Fear, frustration, overwhelmment, confusion, suppressing your self-image, envy, jealousy, resentment, control, need for approval, judgment, guilt, shame, sadness, despair, out of control, burden. I'm going to still bring up the anger with Dad, because that was kind of something that was possible in my mind. And then instead of hitting him, she's forgiving him. So with that burden, it's shifting. He's able to give her a hug, and he tells her sorry, and she feels it, and they talk. Because I never really had that talk with my dad. And so she comes to understanding and forgiveness. Honestly, I could feel like my heart's kind of opening up, like a lot more. I feel lighter. I feel energy's kind of like moving with my breath. I don't feel like so tight-chested. Is that right? Tight-chested. But I feel like my heart's opening up too, just kind of feeling that. Something, I guess, with the being angry with my dad didn't give me right. It just gave me more resentment and stuff. So, all right, is there anything else? So we got fear, frustration, overwhelmment, confusion, suppressing your self-image, envy, jealousy, resentment, control, need for approval, judgment, guilt, shame, sadness, despair, out of control, burden. We're holding strong. I got rid of the generational. Do I need to go back up to my 28-year-old? All right, am merging up? So I'm going to go touch base with my 28-year-old too, because she raised her hand in this. And so 28, let's make sure she's holding strong. Fear, frustration, overwhelmment, confusion, suppressing your self-image, envy, jealousy, resentment, control, need for approval, judgment, guilt, shame. So shame's coming up. My ex kind of made me feel a lot like it was always me. And I'm not saying, ownership, I was a part of the arguments, right? But one thing that I know with the shame is he's going to tell me who's going to want you with 3 kids. And pardon my French, but he said I was the one that was messed up, but he used the F word. Is there anything else? So I'm going to take all that shame. Those are his words. Honestly, I'm just going to draw a pile of shit because it's just whatever. I'm not going to lie, like that was one trigger that I was feeling messed up, but I felt like the way the narcissism and stuff like that too, I felt like it was more him. So I'm going to just say brown shit. Fear, frustration, overwhelming, confusion, suppressing your self-image, envy, jealousy, resentment, control, need for approval. Honestly, I didn't feel good enough, not enough for him. He had like a lot of different relationships, always looking for attention. No matter what I did, it was never enough. Okay, is there anything else? So I'm going to take all that need for approval, not feeling enough. Is there anything else? Not feeling good enough too, that's another one. Is there anything else? So I'm going to take that need for approval. I'm going to say red diamond. And I feel a little bit of anger here too, because in regards to this one, I don't know, it's just like, eat your own words, right? All right, so let me see, fear, frustration, am I doing anger? Do I need to do videos? Okay, so I'm just taking the anger, told him to eat his own words. Is there anything else? There's been a lot of processing on that one too, so, but just not so much at this point, but it's just, there's been a lot of healing that I've had to do with over him too. Just because he dimmed my light for sure. Eat your own words. All right, so as far as the eat your own words, I'm just gonna do duct tape over a mouth. Anything else? Fear, frustration, overwhelmment, confusion, suppressing your self-image, envy, jealousy, resentment, control, need for approval, judgment, guilt, shame, sadness, despair, out of control, burden. Anything else? Do I need to cut down any generational tree here? No. Do I need to worry about my kids? Is there anything else? So, am I ready for a clearing? All right. So let's bear with me. We're going to start from the beginning. I'm just going to go over my notes. So I clear the negative energy, family patterns, and tradition. I clear stress, frustration, sadness, resentment, and overwhelmment. I clear feeling unhappy. I clear scared, unsure what to do. I clear confusion, if I'm making the right decision. I clear sadness, breaking up, failed relationships, and the pain that it will cause my kids. I clear shame, again, failed relationship, generational broken home, and divorce. I clear out of control, fighting, tension, wanting to leave, wanting to stay, fear of the unknown. I clear more burden, the separation, splitting time with kids. I clear mom and dad separating from my younger child, the overwhelmment and sadness that she felt, her out of control, her emotions. I even feel like here with the emotions when the brother was crying, the mom was shaking her voice and all that. For me to remember that was kind of like me being like a sponge. So I'm going to just draw a sponge, and I say yellow. That she just absorbed all of it, but I want to wring it out. I just want to like let that go because it's not hers to carry anymore. I clear sadness that the family would never be the same. I clear the burden with the red bricks. I clear anger videos. I clear being pissed, angry, annoyed, and unforgiving, and mad, and wanting to be left alone. I clear slamming the door, I guess. I clear sadness, more sadness, generational divorce. I clear burden, the more anger, and resentment, and shame. I clear my ex telling me that I was the one that was messed up and who's going to want me with 3 kids. I clear need for approval, not feeling good enough, yearning for attention and not feeling like I was ever enough. And I also clear anger. And is there anything else? So I'm going to cast all this to the sun to be repolarized in a positive energy, and I'm going to replace it with love, passion, personal power, and connectedness. I'm going to replace it with my little girl belongs. I replace it with acceptance, wonder, boundaries in relationship, understanding personal responsibility, and I'm going to say even healing issues connected to money, because that's sometimes why couples fight. I replace it with joy, energy, trust. For the little girl, security, warmth, self-esteem. For the older daughter, or just even all around, being open to new possibilities, new experiences, love, nourishment, and nurturing. I replace it with feelings of love and approval, healing and forgiveness. And I replace it with feeling connected to my spiritual self and God, knowing that I can trust others. I want to be open to receiving information from spiritual sources and being able to trust and accept myself. I replace it with truth, light, intelligence, clarity, innocence, and purity. I replace it energy to the brain, support for brain function, and increased capacity to use my intelligence more effectively and being fully connected. And I replace it with projecting the light from within, feeling the capacity to focus, and feeling a great sense of worth, radiance, clarity, direction, and peace. Am I holding strong? Is there anything else I want to add? Actually, there was something that I did put down. I replace it with understanding and forgiveness, courage. I'm grateful for this little girl for stepping up and raising her hand for the 28-year-old and the 8-year-old. Just kind of funny, it's 20 years between, but just want to thank them. I'm bringing them both together in a room, and I'm just hugging them, and then just feel that love and warmth of her and myself. I got tingling in my legs. And we just are going to connect as one, because I need her, and I'm grateful for her raising her hand today for wanting to do this healing. Stress has been high even in my relationship now, just because of an incident, and can't lie, but sometimes it's just easy to say, I'm walking out that door, I'm done. But, I do love them. I am in a good relationship. It's just, unfortunately, these little worms creep out, and I can't tell what's now and what's then. So I'm clearing this, and hopefully my mirroring here with my husband, it gets better, because I'm healing here within my heart, so I'm not so damn hot-headed. But I'm holding strong. So is there anything else I need to do? I'm maturing up. All right, so I'm going to go over my emotion points one more time. Fear, frustration, overwhelmment, confusion, suppressing your self-image, envy, jealousy, resentment, control, approval, judgment, guilt, shame, sadness, despair, out of control, burden. So I'm holding strong that there's nothing else I need to work in. I matured up, and my process complete. It's holding strong. And I'm sorry if I just go through this. Is there anything else? So I'm just going to put my hand on my heart. And I just know that God created me to be one. I am an individual. I'm unique. I have a lot of gifts. Everybody has their own gifts, but this is one that's special for me, is that, I am a healer. I am an empath. I'm here to help others. I'm here through my own journey, and they usually say that whatever your experiences are is how you help others, through this type of work. Like I said, it's been passed down for me going to school and classes and stuff. And he doesn't make mistakes, and our life lessons are our journey, and I'm stronger because of it, and that he loves me, and I can full-heartedly put that on my heart, and I can feel it. And honestly, I could just tell you myself, I love myself, I'm proud of myself, I'm proud of where I'm at today. So holding strong. Is there anything else? I'm just going to ask my body how many days for this to make it as an imprint and change and shift in me. It's going to be how many days? 1, 2, 3. So I have about 3 days. I just got to love myself. I got to be kind. But I'm feeling positive. I'm feeling a lot less heavy this morning. So we're doing good. So if you stayed this long, thank you for going through this process with me. I appreciate it. And I hope that I can start helping others. and that's why I'm sharing my journey. It's not easy, but it is worth it. And if you guys resonate, like I said, and you're interested in the process, feel free to reach out to me. Thank you for your time, and have a wonderful day. Bye.